Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Forecast. I'm your StormTracker8 meteorologist, Madison Ohms, and today I am joined by Chief Meteorologist Matt DiNardo. Matt, how are you doing on this very dreary Tuesday?
You know, I'm doing well. It was nice this morning as I was looking outside. I'm like, you know what? The coffee's hot. The couch is comfortable.
Yep.
I don't have to go anywhere. We're good. But now, going out, going to work is like, that's a little bitey out there.
I know. I was really anticipating a little bit warmer conditions today, but I know that's what we're looking forward to tomorrow, so at least it's in the near future. I was just hoping it was going to be a little earlier today.
Yeah, we were talking about temperatures reaching 50, low 50s today, and unfortunately that warm front is stuck. And a lot of times in spring, when we're making this transition, the warm front gets stuck over us, the dreariness hangs, and it just makes it tough to break out, and that's what we're stuck with right now.
Yeah, it's just not looking too pleasant out there. Before we get into why we're really experiencing everything we are today, there were a few events that went on this day. March 3rd. In 1999, there was an F1 tornado in Dinwiddie County, and even in 2010, you weren't quite out of the clear for that winter weather yet. 3 to 5 inches of snow for Metro Richmond, so it was still not a great day in weather history.
Yeah, we still get snow in March in Richmond and most of central Virginia, and the average is about 1.1 inches for the month, so it does happen. And you know what? I mean, the good news is when you get snow in March, it usually is gone within a couple of days. So,
right, and if, we were to, not that we're receiving it today, but on a day like today, you have a very dreary day, and then take a look at tomorrow, we're going to have amazing weather where it would just be gone instantly.
Exactly.
But over the course of the day, we've just seen just very dreary conditions. Not too much going on once you get out west, but once we take a look closer to the east, for us here, that's where we saw a little bit of maybe that wintry mix this morning, some of that rain, even stretching across portions of Illinois into Indiana and Ohio. Just kind of dreary weather for the eastern United States.
Yeah, that warm front, that red line that you see there is the dividing line between the cool kind of blah weather we're in right now, the chilliness, to the much warmer air to the south. And over time, that warmer air to the south will win out.
Yes, that is something I'm very much looking forward to. But we really saw, once it hasn't reached it quite there yet or reached us quite yet, that just throughout those morning hours from between 8 a.m. to around now, is when a lot of those showers were finally clearing out. But even then, to the west of us, still a chance right along that warm front line or that dividing line. You could see some of those showers still making their way here.
Yeah, a lot of that rain in West Virginia, as you said, might spill over the mountains and get to us. And even if not, the damp and dreariness, the misty, the drizzle, that's going to continue for this evening into tonight until that warm front could really blow northward and get us some better weather. So if you are heading out tonight, I would have an umbrella just in case.
Right, and if you are heading out right now, you may need to drive really carefully. We're seeing extremely cloudy and extremely foggy conditions outside. The visibility is kind of just shot for this afternoon, even as we saw maybe a little bit of clearing from the showers, or at least this brief break of showers. It's just not getting any better, and that's also not helping our temperatures any.
Right. I mean, that's so thick. The sunlight can't even penetrate through to warm us up, right? So what we need, and the other problem is, too, is we don't have a lot of wind out there. Wind helps to kind of mix the sky up, mix the clouds up, and kind of move things through. And there's no wind. There's nothing coming through the top, so this is just a really stagnant type of air mass over us, and unfortunately, we're on the wrong side. You see there, some places, less than a mile visibility as of this recording at about 1:45 in the afternoon. Now, you look southwest, and you do see better visibilities of 10 miles or better. So slowly we'll get better, but it's happening southwest to northeast. So Tappahannock, West Point, the Middle Peninsula, Northern Neck, you'll be the last to really see any improvement for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, even closer to the metro, 3/4 of a mile of visibility, 1 mile of visibility here in Richmond. So it's just not shaping up to be the Tuesday we were hoping for, and we can kind of see the breakdown of this. There is this low pressure system that was way to the west of us this morning, even closer to that central United States, and that was really aiding in the precipitation we got this morning. And what we are currently seeing this afternoon with all of that cloud cover, but still that rainfall, like you mentioned, that's going to be across western West Virginia that could push over the mountains into this evening for us here.
Yeah, and you see that warm front even by this evening still stretched across northern Virginia. And again, it doesn't mean that that's where the clearing and it's warmer underneath it, right? It's a gradual thing. Right. So, yeah, it's just going to take some time to get that to push northward. So grays, gloomies, showers, drizzle, blah, fog, it's all here for a while.
And I'm just grateful, though, that we're not in the Northeast. Yeah. I know this morning Pennsylvania had some watches where they were really concerned with, potential for freezing rain and ice accumulations. And then you get up to New York and New Hampshire and Vermont and even Maine, they were having some chances for some pretty heavy snowfall later this evening and finishing off today, I should say. But I went to Penn State and I still get all of their weather notifications when classes are canceled or postponed. And they actually canceled classes until 10 a.m. this morning when there was kind of that biggest threat for some of that ice and freezing rain to make its way into the region.
I mean, right in Penn State, you're in a valley, so it traps that cold air down. You get the rain comes across, and you get a lot of freezing drizzle, a lot of freezing rain, making for icing conditions. So probably a smart move on that, especially for people who live off campus commuting into campus.
Right. I lived in an apartment off campus, not terribly far, but far enough. It was probably a good 15-minute walk, and it is a very hilly campus. It's a little deceptive when you're there, but you feel it on your walk down there. And I'm sure the students who had classes after 10 a.m. maybe weren't the happiest of campers.
Right.
Their classes weren't canceled, but I was always an early riser and booked my classes early, so I lucked out there when I was there.
I did the same thing. If I could, I had an early. I packed my schedule in the morning. I was done by noon, and then I had the afternoon. Now, some classes, of course, were in the afternoon. You couldn't do that, but if I could, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
so.
I had my 8 a.m.s, my 9 a.m.s, and you know what? I usually lucked out in those scenarios, but everyone else who like to get up late and end their days a little later, not too much in luck there. Right. But thankfully, we're still not experiencing those cool and frozen conditions, and we're not in that valley either, really aiding in some of those wintry feels likes. But all the way up in New England, we're starting to see even snow accumulation. Some folks maybe 4 to 6 inches of snow.
Yeah, it's more of listen to elevation storm. The higher up you go, the better your chance of getting a more appreciable snow. So you talk about the Green and White Mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire, into the western mountains of Maine. That's where you're looking at 6 inches. In and around Albany to Boston, it's probably like 2 to 3 at best. So yeah, I mean, but just look, winter continues on for those folks for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And even though we're in meteorological spring, we're not officially in that spring season yet, so it still checks out that winter could be making its way back.
Yeah, calendar doesn't always work the way we want it to, for sure.
No doubt about that. But tomorrow, we're also going to maybe be receiving some of that rainfall like we saw on some of our future casts, but nothing as severe as what they could be experiencing in parts of northern Texas, even reaching into Oklahoma, where another system's really going to be ushered in and a lot more moisture is going to be brought along with it.
Yeah, and a couple of maps ago, we talked about the big picture. We had that low sitting out in west Texas or maybe eastern sections of Colorado, and that low with the cold front giving us southerly winds ahead of it. The jet stream track you see coming over it, you get a little bit of mixing, get strong severe storms that could lift. And this is going to be the time of year we start to see from North Texas, Oklahoma, into the Tennessee Valley. We're going to start to see these days of potential severe weather. And by the way, let's put this out there. Next week is Severe Weather Awareness Week here in Central Virginia, and we'll be talking about differences between watch and warning, tornadic development, thunderstorms, different hail, how that all comes together, and how to protect yourself. You've been working on a bunch of graphics for it, so we have a whole library of things to discuss.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's something that we can all always learn, and maybe if we've heard it, it's really great to have a refresher because severe weather, it's called severe for a reason, and it could be very dangerous for us. So that's why we're here, to help everybody stay informed and to keep everyone as safe as possible, but also so that we know what to prepare for as well.
Exactly right. I mean, when we have tornadic weather and we get our warnings, remember the area that we're covering is, Buckingham, Prince Edward County, U.S. Highway 15, all the way to the east to just about the Chesapeake Bay. So when we get a tornado warning for anywhere that's in our market, our television coverage area, we are on the air covering that storm, and I understand sometimes it might be sunny in downtown Richmond, but there's potential tornadoes in Nottoway County. We have to be on for those folks, just like we'd be on for the Richmond metro area. So just something to keep in mind. By the way, also next Tuesday at 9:30 is the statewide tornado drill. A lot of schools practice their tornado safety steps, which is, get up, listen to the teachers, get out in the hallway away from windows, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, always good to keep those tips in mind. And with Wednesday's weather and those potential for severe storms being ushered in, this is going to be the storm or system that's really going to be that driving force. So even in northern Missouri, we're starting to see that low pressure system that's going to be developing, but there's all of those showers along that warm front. So that's why we could still be seeing that potential for maybe a few showers heading into Wednesday as well. Not nearly as big of a system as what they're going to be experiencing closer to Chicago and in the Midwest.
Yeah, no, for sure. Once you get closer to that low, it's a much bigger rain event. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So this progresses throughout the rest of Wednesday, and some folks could still be seeing maybe a chance for some flooding, not for us here, but as we get closer and closer to the Midwest out there, as that low pressure system is just making its way through. But keep in mind that warm front is also going to be ushering through, and that's really going to aid with the warm up that we have headed our way.
Yeah, and once we can get that, boom, things get a lot better.
Right. So for today, still not looking too great. A lot of that precipitation that we had this morning and those clouds were really just hindering us from seeing any of that warm up. But I know it's headed our way, and those above average conditions are going to be very welcomed for Wednesday, and highs could be close to 20 degrees above average for this time of year, even as we progress throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah, I mean, the average high is about 55, so you're talking, when we see the 8-day forecast in a bit here, you're talking mid-70s as we get into Thursday and beyond, maybe even low 70s tomorrow. So getting there for sure, fingers crossed that everything continues to work better than today.
Yeah, and the 70s that we're going to be feeling, the last time we felt that was back in November, on November 26th in 2025, and that high temperature, 72 degrees, and for tomorrow, we're going to be pretty close to that once we finally get a little bit more clearing and that warm front ushers through central Virginia, and we are going to feel absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's waiting for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday, still in the mid-70s, and maybe some spotty showers late. So I think we're going to be looking pretty good.
Yeah, I can't wait. I need more vitamin D. We talked about this a few days ago, and I found some parks that I really enjoyed in the area, got a good walk in. I want to be doing that more and more. I miss it once we see days like this come back into the area.
And we should also mention Saturday is the River City Half and 5K. Weather looks really good. Should be in the lower to mid 60s at the start of the half, which is 8 o'clock. The post-race party begins at about 8:30, goes till 12:30. Most runners are done by 10. Should be in the upper 60s by that point, and then by 12:30, we should be in the lower to mid 70s. So it's going to be great for the River City Half and 5K.
Yeah, go get your steps in, and if not, at least go cheer everybody on. It's going to be a great time.
I'll see you up at mile marker 8. That's where I'm going to be.
I'll be here, but I'll be doing your forecast. I'll keep you all updated on what the weather is going to be like in real time.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for watching another episode of Beyond the Forecast and for joining Matt and I today. As always, we'll keep you all updated. Have a good one.